Hey, what's up? Welcome to my most recent patch. So let's first start off by talking about the bass drum here. Bass drum is being played by Plaits on bass trombone. Triggered by channel 2 of my Varigate here, which is synced with my Minibrute's clock. Pretty straightforward rhythm here going on, just a rhythm patched in here. Got some randomization in the rhythm as well. Why I love the Varigate 4 Plus. Output of that is coming on over into the low pass end of my Three Sisters. The only unique thing about what's going on here with my bass drum with Plaits is the volt per octave is coming actually from channel 3 here that I was playing live. Channel 3 is only set on 1, but it gave me a good slider to tune it to the 5th. So channel 3 is coming out of there, being attenuated a little bit by my hexagram, so I tuned it so that it got exactly up to the 5th above this. So not the most elegant way to do it, but it worked. Next thing is our noise percussion. So channel 4 here is given our rhythm, and that's activating channel 1 of maths. Output at channel 1 is controlling the volume of my noise right up here at the top. That's the CV from channel 1 of maths. Noise input from my Minibrute. Output to the high end of the center of Three Sisters. But the variation that's causing here is from channel 1 of my Varigate. It's basically acting like a sample and hold. It's giving random voltages by having it set up basically low to high across the whole spectrum the Varigate can do, and then randomly choosing between it. That's being sent out to 2 places. First of those is the Three Sisters here, where that's controlling where this FM is. Those random voltages are also being attenuated over here in the hexagram and being sent to control the fall time of my noise. So I can control how high and low the noise percussion is and how long or short the tail is. And main volume right there. So that's my percussion sounds. The main voice was played here on my keyboard. Patched in through VCV rack, just MIDI to MIDI, or MIDI to CV, CV to MIDI, getting it going into here. So let me just pull that for a second. So gate-wise, let's talk about what's happening gate-wise first. So the velocity track here is set to gates that are random lengths from low to high, kind of 2% all the way up, kind of one in each 10 amounts all the way through to here where I'm at 90% width of the gate. And then that output of the velocity track is being sent into this little VCA right here that's built in, and that's being controlled by the gate from my actual keyboard. So when I when the gates open from my keyboard, it sends through the gates from this velocity track of gates, and that just gets sent into the ADSR like it's normally patched. So when I push here, we hear these gates that are happening here. So, and then I can play with adding in some empty space by adding the last step that has some empty ones in there. So, and play with that. So, pitch-wise, my keyboard for oscillator 2, which is this bass voice that I actually have being sent into the metalizer of the triangle wave there. That's oscillator 2. Being sent in there. It's kind of my bass voice, an octave down. Just basically played right off along with that. But pitch-wise, what's more interesting are the other waves that are controlled by oscillator 1, and that's through this pressure track. So on my pressure track, which is set to 2 volts, these right here along here are basically tuned to the right voltages for things like an octave, or that's the root. There's an octave. There's one that's a fifth. Back to the root and an octave, or an octave and a fifth, and 2 octaves. And then some of these later ones, I do have some minor thirds thrown in as well across these last ones that sometimes I had on, sometimes I didn't. And then that is the output of the pressure track is being attenuated through attenuator 1 and then sent into the FM so that I could tune it exactly right. That's just what you needed to do, is to tune it exactly right to get it to play those octaves. So here's those ones without the bass voice. So that pressure track is taking the note that I play and then tuning it up octaves and fifths and things like that along with that. So then that whole voice is being sent into the FX aid here, slightly attenuated with a hexagram just to control it a little bit more, but then sent into the FX aid, which is set on ping pong delay into chorus. But then what makes this voice really interesting is when I hold it for a long time, my gate from my keyboard is being sent into channel 4 of maths here, which is set to be a really slow rising envelope. And as that rises, it does 2 things on my FX aid. It cranks up the amount of chorus and it cranks it to full wet. And that's when things go really crazy, when I hold these really long notes. But if I play quick notes, it doesn't have time to rise at all. And it's got a little more consistency in there. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed my most recent creation.